Most spirituality is based on a linear experience. We're making it up as we go along. I think this, that makes this, and I'm making it up as I go along. Yes, that's our experience, but it's a false experience. It's not true. The future is already there. And Jesus understood that there is just one ego appearing as many, and that he was it, and that there isn't really anybody else. And the experience of everyone has to be that there's just one of us, and that you're it, and then it appears as many different ways. Now, Jesus, being a pretty smart guy, would put those things together and say, wait a minute here, what's going on here? If there's just one appearing as many, and if I'm it, and if my unconscious mind knows that, my unconscious mind must know that there's really only one of us here, because the unconscious mind knows everything, then what am I doing if I go through life judging and condemning other people? Well, all that I'm doing is I'm sending a message out there, and it's only going to me. There isn't anybody out there for it to go to. Not really. It's a trick. I've been tricked by this thing called the ego, and it looks like there are all these people out there, but if I judge and condemn somebody else, all that I'm really doing is sending a message out there from me, about me, to me. It is going directly into my own unconscious mind, because that's the only place for it to go. There isn't really anybody out there for it to go to. So to translate that to my life, let's say that I'm driving down the street, somebody cuts me off in traffic, and I say, that son of a bitch. I just called myself a son of a bitch, because there isn't really anybody out there for it to go to. It's all a trick. And that's like a law of the mind that we can use to grab a hold of something very powerful. The way that Jesus puts it in the Course in Miracles, he says, as you see him, you will see yourself. And he was teaching the same thing 2,000 years ago, too. He'd say, judge not, that ye be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged. And the measure you give will be the measure you get. Well, the measure you give will be exactly the measure you get. Because whatever you're putting out there, it's just going to you. And it's the thoughts that you put out there that will determine how you feel about yourself, your experience of yourself, and ultimately even what you believe yourself to be. And if you're seeing people as the separate bodies that they think they are, which is the way that the ego wants you to see them, then that is how you will experience yourself, as a separate body. Because if it's true that as you see him, you will see yourself, and whatever you're putting out there, the unconscious mind knows that it's just going to you and will translate it as going to you, not to them, because they're not even there. Because what we're seeing is a projection that is coming from us, which Jesus also understood. Then whatever we're putting out there will determine our own experience of ourselves.